Thank you very much, Hannah and Laura. I think that our audience that is just coming into the conference now can actually hear how excited the three of us are, and how excited about everything that is going to be presented here for you. What I would like to do is actually immediately jump into the opening remarks. That is actually the first part or the first content that we are going to share with you today. So I would like to actually ask you to listen in to the opening remarks of our Vice Rector, Ms. Margarete Ramersdorfer.
I'm delighted to welcome you today to the European Online Conference on Urban Jungle, Sustainable Cities in the Making, Inspiration and Entrepreneurial Action. We all have a vision. We want our cities to be more sustainable and livable together. We can achieve this. We can collaborate our ideas and find solutions for the cities of tomorrow. With such a great network of motivated people joining this event, we will tackle current challenges together. The next days, you will have the possibility to engage with urban change leaders from different disciplines, countries and professions, from students to policymakers, from startups to professors. You will listen to new and visionary voices. You will gain expertise from those who are already in the field, and you will get inspired by the driving forces behind the scenes. The Urban Jungle is being hosted by the Vienna University of Economics and Business. My name is Margarete Ramersdorfer, and I'm the Vice Rector for Academic Programs and Student Affairs. In my profession as a researcher, I am very grateful that we was hosting this event, as I myself have always been passionate about sustainable development, environmental performance, and the role of the financial issues in there. We at VU, as an institution, want to do our part to keep this world sustainable for future generations. As an international university, we are aware of our responsibility to society. VU acts as consciously in all what it does, contributing to a comprehensive understanding of the interaction between economic, social, and ecological factors, and in this way contributing to a sustainable economy. VU is clearly committed to its responsibility and sustainability, which is why environmental sustainable behavior is integrated into all our activities. It's part of teaching, it's part of research, and it's also part of our administration. Unfortunately, due to the current situation, I cannot welcome you here in person at the VU campus. Our campus is not just pretty and inspiring, but it is Austria's first climate-neutral university campus. All of the buildings on campus have been certified according to the Blue Building standards. Operational workflows and processes are aimed at reducing the environmental impact through emissions, waste and wastewater. The environmental management system on campus was successfully recertified in accordance with EMAS and ISO 14001. Being situated next to the Prater, a popular public park and green space in the city of Vienna, VU is not just and within a city that hosts tradition and charm, but VU also has a great cooperation with the city's government. Regarding the environmental issues, the Federal Environment Agency and VU have been pooling their complementary expertise together. The aim of the collaboration is to strengthen scientific exchange on topics such as sustainable urban development, the green economy and the bioeconomy. From the perspective of a university, we could never be such a great institution, and we could never be a change maker without our young talents, our motivated students and faculty that are the drivers for all the change. At VU, we promote and develop entrepreneurship, the entrepreneurial mindset, and innovation as key skills for the 21st century. For that reason, VU has a central place to go for guidance on student entrepreneurship, the Entrepreneurship Center, that helps to develop the full potential of university-affiliated startups in Vienna and supports inspired young and not so young people to trust in their own ability to develop new solutions and innovative projects. What is more, WU is also part of Engage EU, an alliance of leading European universities in business, economics and social sciences. Herein, we aim to provide European citizens the set of skills and competences that is needed to tackle major societal challenges now and in the future. Engage EU aims to enable its learners to act as socially engaged European citizens and to have a clear positive impact on society at large. Now, having talked about some of our great assets here at WU, I now want to give you, all the motivated key players here joining this event, the platform of creating something big. Listen to the new and visionary voices, engage with urban change leaders from all over Europe, and share your ideas and visions. Inspire active social engagement in the current and future state of Europe and beyond. Let us be part of the change together. From my side so far, welcome here, enjoy, inspire, get inspired, and be successful. All the best.
I would say that the opening remarks of our Vice Rector actually really nicely laid the foundation for our next speaker. I'm truly thankful and happy to invite Ms. Eleonora Cavallero to the floor. Ms. Eleonora is our project officer at the European Commission, and she will be the one continuing the opening remarks and sharing her insights with us here. Ms. Eleonora, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I hope everything works. Technically, it seems so. So it's a real pleasure to be here today at Urban Jungle to discuss with you new visions for the cities of tomorrow. My name is Eleonora Cavallero. I work for the Education, Audiovisual and Culture Executive Agency, or EACEA for short. This executive agency manages some EU funding programs on the behalf of the European Commission. I work for Erasmus+, that program that supports education, training, youth, and sports. The program that, as mentioned before, is co-funding the project that has brought us together today, BUILDS, Building Urban Intelligent Living Design Solutions. More specifically, I work for the Knowledge Alliances, and as mentioned before, I am the project officer who is following BUILDS at the agency. Since 2014, Knowledge Alliances have contributed to strengthening Europe's innovation capacity and to fostering innovation in higher education, business, and the broader socio-economic environment. BUILDS is part of the Erasmus+ Knowledge Alliances. Knowledge Alliances have three main goals: develop new, innovative, multidisciplinary approaches to learning and teaching, develop entrepreneurial skills and mindset, and stimulate the flow, the exchange of knowledge between higher education and business. For a Knowledge Alliance to be really successful, it should provide new learning opportunities. It should create results that are transferable and accessible to a broader audience, and it should ensure that the activities and the partnership can go beyond the life of the project. Now, we are still some months apart from the conclusion of BUILDS. However, I believe it's not too early to say that so far the project has created a strong and fruitful synergy, not just between higher education and business, but also among disciplines that are still quite distant and whose interaction could positively contribute to the co-design, the reimagination of the cities of tomorrow. I'm talking about architecture, I'm talking about design, and science, biology, biotechnologies. So far, the project has achieved very promising and interesting outcomes. You are in the process of creating new learning opportunities based on the cross-pollination of disciplines and based on the practical application of entrepreneurial skills. You are in the process of creating a platform that can facilitate the interaction between higher education and business, thanks to the organization of events like this symposium, events that can generate new ideas and new vision to imagine the urban spaces in the future. And last but not least, you are in the process of creating promising startups that could positively contribute to the market uptake of nature-based solution to help our cities become less gray and more green. Of course, there are challenges ahead of you, but as we say, if there are challenges, there are opportunities. The main challenge for you now is to prove that the impact of the project can go beyond the lifetime of the project itself. How can you do that? Well, a proper dissemination, a proper exploitation of the results is going to be key to win this challenge. So to transform the project into a process of innovation, of higher education and business, but also a process of reimagination of the urban space of tomorrow. So to contribute to ensuring that by 2050 and hopefully even before, all Europeans will be not just entitled, but also capable of living well within the limits of the planet, which is one of the main goals of the Green Deal. So I can only wish the best of luck to this project, and I wish you all a great continuation of this international symposium. Let's enjoy the event, and I thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Miss Eleonora. This was truly inspiring and supporting. And I must say that we are really, really happy that you are recognizing the effort that we are putting in here, especially when it comes to building the bridges where there were not bridges, or to building the connections that even for us were really challenging in the beginning. But now those are actually strong partnerships that we are very much relying on in our work. And as you said, where we see challenges, there are probably the opportunities. The idea of this conference is actually to recognize the challenges, but also to map the opportunities, to see how are we going to work together even after the project length. And having this said, I would like to invite and to offer the floor to Mr. Georg Niehoff, representative of Commission's Directorate General for Education and Culture. If I have not pronounced this well, I'm really sorry, but I hope that I did. Mr. Georg, good morning. Thank you for joining. I'm going to give the floor to you to share your opening remarks with us.
Yes, thank you, Daniela. Pronunciation was perfect. Also from our side, DG EAC, the European Commission, a warm welcome to everyone. It's really nice to see that the projects develop so nicely, even under these difficult circumstances. And in the unit that I'm working in, dealing with innovation and the EIT. The focus of our work is indeed to make sure that universities, higher education institutions become more innovative and entrepreneurial. And secondly, that we find a good space for them in the ecosystem. And projects like this one demonstrate that there is a lot more than research and education and training that universities can contribute to the environment. And that is something that we will continue also in the future. I'll come back to that in a second. A point I would like to make is that we are currently having quite a few discussions at European level with the member states on designing what we call a higher education transformation agenda, because we understand that universities, higher education institutions have a key role to play in dealing with the COVID recovery, but also in driving the digital and the green transition that we are going to face in the next 10 years. And this is a process that will be co-created. So also University of Vienna, of course, is expected to be part of that. But where do we want to go with that? We have basically 4 main areas where we see that we need to agree with universities in Europe on where to go. The one is, what do we understand by innovation in higher education? What do we expect in the future from learning and teaching processes? How can we come to more flexible modules, micro-credentials, etc.? The green and digital transition is something important, and it was very nice to learn from Margareta Rammersdorfer that Vienna University is already today climate neutral, because that, of course, is also one of the ambitions that we have, that universities also are part of that green transition and also are models of that. Last but not least, connectivity is something that we see that is covering, also mentioned, the European University Alliances, so connections among universities in Europe, but also, and that is the purpose of knowledge alliances like your project, connection with the ecosystem. And the last point on the agenda is inclusiveness. How can we make higher education institutions more accessible for diverse student bodies, research bodies, communities? So all this will be co-created in 2021, and we hope that we have an agreement on that by the end of the year. From our perspective, it's extremely important to better understand what is the innovation that higher education institutions, universities can bring into their communities. And therefore, what we can also learn from projects like yours will help us to understand how we can further support this. The nice example that you show us, that it is not just limited, as we see in many other cases, on this perspective collaboration of universities with companies, but much more important also with cities, with social actors, and that is something that we would like to expand in the future. The program that you have been funded under, the so-called Knowledge Alliances, we will continue with that, but under a different brand. So be aware, in a couple of weeks, there will be the first call for what we now call Alliances for Innovation. We go in these calls and into the Erasmus program with the substantially increased, almost doubled budget. That is also, in these difficult budgetary situations, an acknowledgement of the importance of education and training. And therefore, the invitation also here to those listening in today to use these opportunities and apply to these goals. We understand that a certain continuity can also be created by having ideas for successor projects that come from the background of the work that you're doing here. Last point I would like to make, because it's again very strongly linked to our activities in Austria. We're also running with the Austrian government at this moment a partnership together with the OECD to improve the articulation between the outcomes of what universities produce and the needs of the labor market. It is what we call labor market relevance and outcome partnership. And this is something where we also see a strong relevance to understand better what actually are signaling mechanisms that the business environment can provide to universities to better understand what the skills are needed for future students, help students in making the right choices for curricula and modules. That is something where we see also a direct impact on our activities of the policy making at national level, because it will influence the policy making of the Austrian, the Slovenian, the Hungarian governments involved in these. But of course, there's also a strong element of close collaboration with the institutions that help us to identify good practices that can be then picked up by other universities. With this, I would not want to take more of your time. I'm curious to see what the day brings, and all the best of luck. And hopefully at the next meetings of this project, we'll be able to participate also in an individual basis. Thank you so much, and all the best.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jörg. This was really inspiring. What I'm taking from this is innovation, education, and connectivity. And since I'm here from in this role from Vienna University of Economics and Business, I think that very much what we relied on in our project here, in our work here, is actually to bring the innovation into the education however we can. We are not aiming big. We are actually doing it day by day. Bringing innovation is a big challenge. Innovation itself, we don't even know how to define it, right? Every time we figure out something new, we want to bring in something new. Our idea here is to gather the experts, to work with the students, to feel the pulse of the stakeholder groups we are working with, to be honest with ourselves and how much we can actually do, and to start doing it. This is the approach that both our university and our project is actually taking in last couple of years, and we are happy to share that it is making some results, and we are also happy to share the results with you during this two-day journey. Thank you once again. This was really insightful and nice opening remark. And lastly, in the opening remark part, I would like to invite Mr. Thomas Madreiter, a planning director of City of Vienna, to come to the floor and to share his opening remarks with us. Welcome, Mr. Thomas Madreiter. The floor is yours.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure for me to be part of your urban jungle. A very warm welcome from the City of Vienna. Between the City of Vienna and the Vienna University of Economics and Business, there's a long tradition of cooperation, and the City of Vienna also has a very long tradition in acting as a sustainable city. If I talk about the USB in acting of the City of Vienna in terms of sustainability, and this is a bit of a spoiler alarm because you can hear my keynote at 11 a.m. About our smart city strategy and our smart city approach. So what's the USB of the City of Vienna in acting as a sustainable or ecologically orientated city? It's the focus on the social processes, because we in Vienna, we see the social processes in our society as a fundamental basis for organizing the change. Because for me, it's absolutely clear we are middle in the climate crisis. And there is a huge need for change in cities worldwide. And for me, the key questions are not the economic questions or the technological questions for me. And for us in Vienna, the key questions is how can we raise awareness? How can we involve the people? How can we take the people with us in this process? And how can we organize this huge change management process? But more of this in more or less half an hour in my keynote. So a lot of thanks to the organizers of this conference. I wish you and me and all of us a very fruitful discussion, a very fruitful conference. Thanks a lot and all the best.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Madreiter. I'm really happy that we will actually have a chance to listen to you very soon, as you said, from 11 a.m. And thank you for joining this conference, and a big thanks to the city for supporting our idea and for supporting our mission here.